23 multiple choice questions and answers regarding contracts as a study guide in preparation for your affiliate and broker exam. I'll be narrating these for our viewers listening only to the audio. The statute of frauds requires real estate contracts to be in writing and signed by the parties. Which of the following contracts does not have to be in writing? A. Agreements for sale. B. Leases for 6 months. C. Option agreements. Or D. Land contracts. B. Leases for 6 months. To be valid and enforceable, a contract must have all of the following elements except A. Offer and acceptance. B. Capable parties. C. A large cash earnest money deposit. Or D. Consideration. C. A large cash earnest money deposit. When a sales contract is signed by both parties, what type of title is given to the vendee? A. Legal title. B. Equitable title. C. Ostensible title. Or D. Possessory title. B. Equitable title. An offer to purchase becomes a sales agreement when it is accepted by the A. Offeree, B. Offeror, C. Grantee, or D. Vendee. A. Offeree. Which of the following puts parties to a contract back to the positions they had prior to creating a contract? A. Specific performance. B. Rescission. C. Novation. Or D. Waiver. B. Rescission. An agency that cannot be terminated by the owner is A. A management agreement. B. A power of attorney. C. An agency coupled with an interest. Or D. An exclusive right to sell listing. C. An agency coupled with an interest. An option contract has which of the following characteristics? A. Enforceability against the optionor. B. Enforceability against the optionee. C. An indefinite time period. Or D. A price to be determined if the option is exercised. A. Enforceability against the optionor. If the seller in a sales agreement decides not to complete the transaction, the buyer may enforce the contract by which of the following? A. Statute of frauds. B. RESPA. C. Specific performance action. Or D. Action for quiet enjoyment. C. Specific performance action. A broker must maintain an escrow or trust account for which of the following? A. Earnest money deposits. B. Commissions until paid to the salespeople and cooperating brokers. C. Option money. Or D. General business funds. A. Earnest money deposits. A contract for the sale of real estate or the listing of real estate wherein one party is under the influence of alcohol is which of the following? A. Valid. B. Voidable by both parties. C. Void. D. Voidable by the intoxicated party. D. Voidable by the intoxicated party. A legal description that has a definite starting point and then describes the property around its perimeter by the uses of compass directions and distances from one point to another point is called A. Metes and bounds. B. Government rectangular survey. C. Lot and block number, or D. Monuments. A. Metes and bounds. Mrs. Jones is moving to San Diego. She has entered into a sales contract as a seller of her home to Mr. Deeks for $79,500. Mr. Deeks knows Miss Lang is eager to own that property and has expressed an interest in purchasing it for $87,500. Which of the following statements is true? A. Mr. Deeks must close with Mrs. Jones. B. Mr. Deeks may assign in writing his interest to Miss Lang without the seller's consent if the sales agreement does not prohibit it. C. Miss Lang cannot pay $87,500 for a property that appraised for only $79,500. Or D. Miss Lang can buy the house direct from Mrs. Jones. B. Mr. Deeks may assign in writing his interest to Miss Lang without the seller's consent if the sales agreement does not prohibit it. Mr. Bill and Mrs. Jones have signed a contract to purchase and sell one parcel of real estate. Mr. Bill dies before the closing is to be held. Which of the following statement is most true? A. The contract is terminated. B. The contract is not terminated. C. The contract is voidable. Or D. The contract is unenforceable. B. The contract is not terminated. Which of the following is not a test of a fixture? A. Intent of the parties. B. Manner of attachment. C. Adaptability of the item. Or D. Monetary value of the item. D. Monetary value of the item. A real estate contract, such as a contract for deed, a sales contract, and a lease contract, are examples of A. Unilateral contracts, B. Bilateral contracts, C. Equitable contracts, or D. Unenforceable contracts. B. Bilateral contracts. Mr. Chin-Ho Kelly and Ms. Konakalikua have agreed upon the terms of a sales agreement. Before closing, the house is slightly damaged by a storm. Who is responsible for the damage? A. The buyer because he has equitable title. B. The seller because of the risk of loss clause in the sales agreement. Or C. The cost of repair is shared by both. Or D. The broker. B. The seller because the risk of loss clause in the sales agreement. If a buyer withdraws from a sales agreement before closing, the seller may keep the earnest money. This results in A. A partial claim for damages. B. Payment of commission to the broker. C. Liquidated damages. Or D. A lawsuit. C. Liquidated damages. All valid contracts require consideration. In an option, this is called option money. Which of the following statements is true concerning option money? A. It is automatically part of the purchase price if the optionee elects to buy the property optioned. B. It is refunded to the optionee when the option terminates. C. It is paid for the option only. Or D. It must be placed in an escrow or trust account by the optionor or his agent. C. It is paid for the option only. A contract for deed or land contract is not which of the following? A. A contract wherein the seller holds the deed to the property until all installment payments are paid to the seller. B. A financing device. C. terminated by death of either party, or D, required to be in writing and signed by the parties to be enforceable. C, terminated by death of either party. Max, Jerry, and Kemakona are selling property they have inherited to Mr. and Mrs. Grover. Before closing, the Grovers discover a title defect exists. Who is responsible for clearing up the title defect? A, vendor, B, vendee, C, broker, or D, attorney? A, vendor. A real estate sales contract is A, unilateral and executed, B, bilateral and executory, C, unilateral and executory, or B, bilateral and executed. B, bilateral and executory. Novation is A, court action to enforce a contract, B, the action of putting earnest money in an escrow account, C, the substitution of a party in a contract for another and release of the first party from further liability, or D, the taking of private property for public benefit. C, the substitution of a party in a contract for another and the release of the first party from further liability. Subdivisions are laid out in A, sections and townships, B, lots and blocks, C, metes and bounds, or D, monuments and benchmarks. B, lots and blocks. That completes all of the multiple choice questions we have on contracts. Be sure and check out our other videos as you continue studying for your licensing exam.